So the other week, I got to go to my friend Isabel's musical production thingy, and I was there with her family, and we went into the theater and we sat down, and I thought it was pretty cool because I was one away from the edge of the row. I had an empty seat beside me. Then it was the stairs, and I thought that'd be good because logic dictates that when you walk into a theater, you look for the biggest expanse of empty spaces, and then you go sit in that general vicinity. Like you don't kind of like single out one chair beside someone, because you don't want to sit beside a stranger. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to do that. So I thought I'd be all good, but this girl comes and plops down beside me really fast, and I guess it was just kind of natural. I just thought maybe I knew her, and so I just automatically kind of turned with a big smile on my face, and my hand was up as to say like, "Hey, how is it going?" But I didn't say that because I didn't know her, and she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at her phone, and then she laughed and said something in Chinese. So I just looked back to the front because I didn't know her. But this girl, obviously, as I found out throughout the play, she doesn't really understand the etiquette of sitting beside somebody, because I was sitting straight up, because when you have two people on either side of you, just kind of like sit erect in your seat. Well, that's what I was doing. I was just like 90 degrees, and like slowly this girl, she would like kind of edge into me, and her arm would brush up against me, and I thought that was kind of awkward, because suddenly when someone touches you, it's like that's all you can think about is that they're just kind of brushing you. So I move over just a tad, just so I'm not brushing her anymore. And then like 2 minutes later, I feel her again, just kind of like just brushing me, just kind of up a little bit more. So I move over to the left a little bit more, and then throughout the rest of the first act, which is an hour and 30 minutes, she's like leaning into me slowly, and it's like I have to adjust to the left until I had to like move, so I was looking like an eagle. I was like perched on my friend's armrest. I was like leaning all the way over, and it was sort of hurt my back. And then finally she moved. I saw her at the corner of my eye. I saw she moved back towards the right to do something, and I just kind of like made my move. I just kind of like went right back into the straight position, and then no matter how much she leaned into me, which was only a little bit, I didn't move. I stood my ground. I told her that's how I was gonna sit, and she stopped leaning into me. She leaned towards the right, where there was an empty expanse of leaning space. And that's kind of how the rest of the act went. And then the intermission came, and I had to switch with Isabel's sister, because she was feeling nauseous, and she had to have a quick escape route in case the bubbles came. So she sat where I was sitting, beside the Asian girl, and I got to move to like the direct center. And you think that would be good. Like, I thought that was good, but it's not, because I see most theaters are like dark, like they're pitch black, and so you kind of feel like you're just up in space watching this happen. But the like lights were on in the theater, so not bright lights, but like dim lights, and so they could like see us, they could see the audience, and I didn't know theaters did that. Anyways, so this is where I learned my first lesson of musical productions. Don't sit center, direct center. It's not good, because when you're up on stage, I guess, and you're singing, your eyes must directly just aim for the center of the stage, just by instinct or something, because I swear everybody stared at me in the eyes. I made eye contact with so many singers, and it's awkward. I don't like looking at people in the eyes when they're acting or singing, because it feels less like I'm attending a musical production and more like they're lullabying me to sleep at night, and they're kind of like bearing into my soul. And I connected with a few of those people. We had some private discussions, but for the most part it was just awkward, and I didn't like it. So I instead looked up at the set, and I just kind of ignored their gazes. But then I felt bad, because these guys have practiced so long, and I thought, what if they see me not looking and they're like, we're not very good. He's not watching. This guy doesn't like us. Maybe all that practice was for naught. Oh, we suck. And then I would just totally ruin their morale. And that's not good. I don't want to do that to them. So I looked back at them in the eyes, but I would dart between them to find the ones that weren't looking at me at the moment. And I just stayed at them. But then my eyes would like brush over someone else, and they'd look me in the eyes, and they'd be smiling as musical performers do sometimes when they sing a happy song. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So finally, the last number, the last musical number came up, and it was like everyone on stage singing and dancing and flipping, and this is, I swear, everybody, 2/3 of the people on stage were staring me in the eyes. Was I that in the center? Was there something on my face? Am I attractive? Maybe I'm just no. It must be that thing where you just kind of automatically look at the center, because 2/3 of the people were staring at me, and I double checked, I triple checked, I was looking back and forth to people, and they were all looking at me, and then I started laughing, like repressed laughter, like the kind of laughter you laugh if somebody tells you a joke and you're at a funeral, that kind of laughter. Like, I didn't want to laugh, because it was a happy part, it was the end part, and it was happy, but it wasn't funny. Yes, it was funny, but I was laughing at the wrong parts. I was laughing when people were supposed to be enjoying, not laughing. And so I was smiling like crazy and hiding my face. And then I felt worried again, because maybe they looked at me and they thought I was thinking bad about them, like I was laughing at their moves or something. So I looked back up, and I did like, keep a straight face. So my lips were like trembling, and I was just like trying to like show out a facial expression as, wow, I am enjoying this. Please continue with your singing and dancing. It makes me happy on the inside. And I think I did that pretty well, because they still kept smiling on stage. And that's my experience at a musical theater production. It was a very good play, I have to say. It was very good. I liked it. It made me happy. Except for all the awkward parts.